Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Mastermind. I am your host, Sonny Von Cleveland. You know, Napoleon Hill famously said, you can be anything that you want to be if you only believe with sufficient conviction and act in accordance to your faith, because anything that the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. When we have unbridled, unconditional belief in ourself, in our ability, there's nothing that we cannot accomplish in this lifetime. And we're going to discuss just how you can do that today through the power of harnessing your vision and what vision can do to you. We're going to discuss it. Carl is here, Claire is here, and we're going to have this discussion right now. This is the Daily Mastermind. Happy Wednesday. Carl is back with us. Claire is here. Good to see you guys. Let's talk about the power of vision, man. I think it's absolutely incredible. I just want to start it off with this little story about vision. And then I want you guys to take it away. You know, everybody knows Tim McGraw, right? You guys know Tim McGraw?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know who Tim McGraw's dad is?
No.
So Tim McGraw's father is named Tug McGraw. Tug McGraw won the World Series with the Philadelphia Phillies in 1980 as their pitcher. And he won in Game 7 as their pitcher. When the game was over, Sports Illustrated got this amazing picture of them winning the World Series, and they asked Tug how it felt. And he said, it felt normal. I've been doing this and preparing for this my whole life. I've been up there a million times, because when he was a kid and him and his father would practice in the backyard, the scenario was always the same. In his mind, it's the bottom of the ninth, Game 7, 2 outs, runners in position, World Series. And he practiced that in his whole life. And that's just the imagination of a child until eventually it manifested. Until he's actually in Game 7 with 2 outs, runners in scoring position in the World Series, 1980. It's all fact, and it happened. This is the power of having a vision. This is the power of seeing something in your mind. As kids, we tend to see things like they exist. Our imaginations are so powerful, and we see things as they exist, and we have the ability to harness things and bring them into our life and manifest them. And that's exactly what Tug McGraw did in 1980. And to win the World Series. What do you guys think about vision, having a vision, and harnessing the power of your vision? Claire, I'll let you start it off.
I think further to what you just said, do you all know who Roger Bannister is? So Roger Bannister was the first person to break the 4-minute mile in sprinting for running. All the leading scientists, doctors around the world said it was physically impossible for the body to do that. He didn't accept it. Now, he was in the war as well, World War II. And so every time he heard the gun go off to run, he imagined that he was in a war zone situation, and that triggered him. And he actually then beat that 4-minute mile. I think he did it in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. And then 6 athletes actually did it in that same year as well, because basically Roger Bannister had imagined that he was going to be able to do it, and then led the way for others to do it as well. So, but to go back to your point, absolutely. I think what happens with most people is that we sit and dwell on what we don't want. So we visualize on what we don't want. We visualize on, oh my God, I'm broke. I don't like my husband, my partner, my wife, whatever it may be. This sucks. This sucks. And so we just focus on what we don't want rather than what we do want. And if you're in that stuckness on focusing on what you don't want, well, of course, you can't get the mindset. You can't manifest what you do want in life because you're in that stuckness. So you have to try to get yourself out of that stuckness and imagine what you do want. And we can go back to that in a second if you want to go to Carl.
Facts. Carl, jump in there. The power of vision, man. Harnessing the power of vision. Talk about vision in your life and in your experience.
So for me, at 17 years old, I had a choice. It was either I saw two pathways. Death was staring me in the eye because my life was, or uh, do something else. And my vision was join the military, because with the military, my vision was I can see the world and will open up a whole different pathway to me. And so my vision was to do 4 years. But during those 4 years, I realized that I could see myself having a paycheck, a retirement. And so that was my vision, is no matter what, to retire and have the ability to do whatever I wanted after I retired. And without that, I don't think I would be here. So it's important to have a vision and a focus, because if you don't have a focus, I'm all over the place. If I don't have a focus, then I'm a disaster.
I was just explaining that to Claire yesterday. I come up with ideas constantly, left and right, and you guys have all seen it. Everybody that's been watching my channels over the years, I come up with shows, ideas, podcasts, all kinds of stuff all the time, and I don't finish all of them because I get another idea, I get another thought, and so harnessing vision is difficult for me. I can come up with the ideas, and then I get sidetracked because I come up with another one, and I should have been an inventor, man. That's what I should have done.
I think the important thing is to keep reminding yourself of what it is that you want. And then that's where you can keep visualizing it. So, for example, since I was a little kid, my mom actually had a friend who was Australian, and she used to send me postcards. And I used to have a sticker book, but instead of having stickers, I used to put postcards in it from my friend from Australia and so forth. And I used to say to my parents when I was a little kid, I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to go to Australia. I'm going to live there one day. And sure enough, I made that happen. Fast forward, I've been to 70 countries. I've lived in loads and loads of countries. But when I'm not traveling, I'm watching documentaries on countries. I'm reading travel books. I'm learning about other countries. And I think by surrounding yourself with stuff that is along the path of what you want will help you work towards getting what you want. So you have to keep inspiring yourself. So even if you don't have what you want right now, so for example, maybe you don't like the job you have, or you don't like the partner that you have, but if you keep imagining and visualizing what you want for a partner or what you want for a job, Sonny von Cleveland, I see that. If you keep envisioning what you do want, the characteristics of a partner that you do want, or what you do want for a job, if you keep imagining it and so forth, I genuinely believe that the opportunities will present themselves when you're ready to get what you want.
I think what you said is really profound about how you collected the postcards, and then she ended up being a global traveler. She's traveled, and same with Pamela Kilpin in here. She said, same. I wanted to go to Turkey, and I spent 6 months there, and after that, I traveled all over. That's the power of vision. That's the power of manifestation. If you see something and you just keep pulling it to you in your life, and you like Claire said, if you refresh, keep it fresh in your mind, keep it relevant, it's going to happen. It's at some point it's going to pull up. I wanted to be a musician ever since I was a little kid, and going through, all those years in prison and getting out, like, I don't know how the hell to be a musician. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I knew I wanted it. I still saw it as early as a week before I got out of prison. I was talking to people about how I wanted to be a musician. Sure as shit, not even a year later, I'm signed to a label and touring around the country. It's absolutely incredible what vision can do for you. And we are living proof right now that vision comes to reality. I think all three of us are actually living that, because when I first met Carl said he didn't want to know what he wanted to do with his life. He didn't know what to do. He knew that he wanted to reach people, connect with people, and do something, right? Here he is right now doing that. And then Claire and I are on the 66-day journey. This is day 3, 63 to go. Of our 66-day habit building process. It's visualizing is manifesting. It's putting in the work. When you visualize and when you see it and you create the vision, and you got to be really specific. You got to be really specific with your visions. So you create a vision board. You put down the things you want. What kind of car do you want? Get a picture of it. Download the picture of it. Take it out of a magazine. Whatever you got, put it on the board. Put the house that you want, put the job that you want, put the anything that you want, put it on your vision board and look at it every day. I kind of like this wall back here as my vision board. I got video games on there. I got music. I got my woman. I got some swords and Viking stuff. That's what my life is. I love that stuff. That's the stuff that brings me happiness. And then being motivational, inspirational is really big for me. And so we live that vision. I get up every day. It doesn't matter how many people tune in, how many people watch, because I know that I'm helping some people in the world. Even if it's one or two, I know that I'm helping. And having that vision, my vision is to eventually one day take a stage with this woman that is just filled in an arena that is just packed with people to come in and inspire them.
Well,
it will happen. I have no doubt in my mind. I can see it. I can visualize it. So there's an expression. It's not my expression, and I don't even remember what book that I read it in. I've actually got a pendant that I've actually had these words engraved. It said, imagine it, feel it, and receive it. So obviously we know what imagine it is. Imagine what it is you do want, but then feel it. Feel what that would feel like to get what you want. So feel like, so for example, I always wanted to go to Africa. So about 20 years ago, I backpacked across 9 countries in Africa by myself. Yay me.
wow.
But what I was researching what that trip was going to be like. And as I was researching, I was imagining what that was going to feel like to camp under the stars and to hear the lions roar. And so you actually invoke the feeling of already being there. So imagine it, invoke that feeling of already achieving whatever it is you want, and then you will receive it. I'm a big believer in that. So, because usually what happens, this is where it comes undone, is people imagine like, hey, I want to win the lottery and I want to have a house and I want to have that. But it's just so unattainable in their mind that they can't imagine what that feeling would feel like once they get it. And that's why it doesn't come to you. So you have to practice. If I had $1 million right now, what would that feel like? How would it feel, and so forth? And then it's surprising, but it does work. Opportunities present themselves when you least expect it, and so forth. Just imagine it, feel it, receive it.
And it does materialize. You would think, well, it just doesn't come out of nowhere. No, it does. You just have to be willing to understand when something happens. It's not a coincidence. I don't think there's any such thing as a coincidence. You manifested it.
You do.
Claire and I had a great example of that when we had talked about, we were out, and I think we were in Sedona, and we were talking about manifesting some money, and within 24 hours, 48 hours, I think we had
a couple of grand came our way.
$20,000 came our way. Like,
oh yeah, 20 grand.
It happens, right? Like it happens. Like, do you remember that, babe?
Yes, I do remember now. Yeah.
It's intense on how you speak on something and you believe it. You feel it in your heart, like because it's already there.
I think so, if you wouldn't, I am going to interrupt you there because we're missing one little step. You have to live in gratitude every day for what you've already got. So even if life is not pleasant at the moment, things have gone pear-shaped for whatever reason, there's always something to be grateful for, always. So if you can live in gratitude every day, and then you imagine it, feel it, receive it, it's going to come to you. But if you don't come from a place of gratitude, that again is blocking that manifestation.
Like Sheryl Crow said, it's not about wanting what you've got, or it's not getting what you want. It's wanting what you've got.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Carl, I wanted to ask you about your vision as a kid, going into the Navy, going into the military. Is there any moment that you've looked back on that and said, maybe I should have done something different? I could have done something. Or did you ever want to do something different? Or were you locked in? And if you were, would you suggest to a 17-year-old today that he joins the military or joins the Navy?
I do that a lot with young kids nowadays because for me, and there's a lot of kids out there that do it, I was a free spirit. I didn't have any focus. I was just in la land for many, many years and just spreading my love and just loving my mom and my family. And so I really wasn't focused. At 11 months, my brother's 11 months older than me. He had a focus. He was going to go to college. I had none of that. Everybody was talking about college. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just started working when I was 13, mowing lawns, doing whatever. But at the same time, I had none of that. And so it wasn't until I was facing death is when I changed and said, I have to have a focus. And the military opened up my world to everything. It taught me discipline. It taught me focus. I have to have structure. If I don't have structure, it's a mess. And once I have structure, I can have focus. And see, there's a lot of kids out there that are missing that. And that's why I say, if you don't have that, join the military, even if you just do 4 years. I went to the extent of 20 years and don't ask, don't tell everything, but I had that focus. Nobody was going to stop me from reaching that 20-year goal. And I lived it because guess what? I accepted it. It aligned with what I wanted to do because I never wanted to rely on anybody. So I had that focus. At the end of the day, I wanted a car. Maybe it was a very myopic way of thinking for me, but it got me through. And I was always happy and people loved me because I was just energetic because it was aligned with what I had chosen to do. Now, when I got out, I didn't know everybody's like, what are you going to do? But then when I met my ex, he said, I went to school. Well, that wasn't, if I didn't go to school right after high school, how the hell was I going to go back to school? And so he was like, you have to have a focus, Carl. So long story short, I ended up getting my real estate license. But even then, I knew that didn't align. I was living a dream through somebody else because it didn't align through me. All I wanted to do was love and be loved. So it's important to align your passion with your true self. Because if you're not
Sure.
you're just doing things and you're just doing it because you're living someone else's life.
You're living someone else's dream.
Yes, you have the dream. And so many people get caught up in that. And it's important to stay true to yourself. But love does amazing things to you. And
If it's not your vision,
No.
you shouldn't be trying to live it.
No.
If it's somebody else's vision, if it's not something that you engendered in your own mind, it's something that you put forth out of your own passion and love and desire, you should be living it. And I say this because I have a 17-year-old who is considering joining the military. I personally think, and I think Claire, her belief aligns with this as well, I think you should take some time. I think you should go explore a little bit first before you commit yourself to the military because it's a commitment and you shouldn't quit.
It is. But some kids, once they start having that free spirit, they get in trouble. They do things. They don't have a focus. And then they spend the rest of their life doing that exact same thing. And I've seen it over and over and over again. That's not everybody, but I will tell you, there's a handful of people that do it. And at least in the military, you're gonna learn all kinds of different abilities, discipline, that waking up in the morning, being on time, all those that are going to be a success to the rest of your life, even if you only do 4 years.
I bet your bed looks amazing right now, doesn't it?
What's that?
So I bet your bed looks amazing right now, doesn't it?
No, actually, it's not.
He got out of the military and stopped. That bed should be perfect.
Actually,
you can bounce a quarter off that sumbitch.
No, normally I make my bed every morning, but for whatever reason today I did not. So
well, because the gods knew I was going
to. He lost his focus today, folks. I mean, this is the power of losing focus. You don't make the bed; it all goes tits up from there.
Exactly.
We like to make our bed. You know, Denzel Washington had one of the most profound things I've ever heard. Denzel Washington puts his slippers underneath his bed and pushes them way underneath the bed so that when he gets up in the morning, he has to get his slipper. He has to get down on his knees and reach and struggle to get his shoes. And as he's down there, he's reminded of being humble and thankful for everything that he has in life, being that low to the ground. And I always thought that was a profound thing because he is a living testament. Denzel Washington is one of the most amazing human beings on the planet. He is a living testament to vision and how vision manifests. It doesn't manifest when you want it. It manifests when it's ready for you to receive it. Denzel, he went and got shot down on every audition that he ever took. Just shot down left and right, left and right. Some people were like, you don't have what it takes to actually be an actor or a performer. You're not going to really do well in this industry. You should do something else. And he just would not believe it, and kept going. He saw himself speaking to millions of people. He said one day, he said, I knew I was going to speak to millions of people that I would meet. And then he met an older lady in a barber shop who said, one of these days you're going to speak to millions and millions of people. And so that re-solidified his belief. And we all know who the hell Denzel Washington is.
Yeah.
So,
Same with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, I don't remember where I read this in some book, but basically when he was a young actor in his 20s, he actually wrote a check.
wrote himself a check
for $1 million. And under the notes that you put on the check said for acting services rendered. And he carried that check in his wallet for years and years. And then as soon as I think it was Ace Ventura was the first one.
I think it was.
He cashed it in for himself because he had looked at that check every day and so forth and visualized what he did.
Right. So this is the power of vision. And then I have a couple of things. I'm reading Jack Canfield's The Success Principles right now. And
one of the best books ever.
It's
I
an
highly
amazing,
recommend
amazing book. I highly recommend it for anybody, period. Doesn't matter what you're trying to do in life, but I highly recommend it. And there's a vision point in here that I want to talk about. There is a vision exercise that I want to give everybody today so that you guys can go back, rewind the video so you can get all 7 of them and all those points. But I would recommend that you write them down because this is going to help you to do this and then do it every day. So before we get, I'm going to do this as my final word of the day. I just want you guys to be ready. So anybody that's watching, if you want to partake in that vision exercise that can really change your life, get a pen, get some paper. At my closing statement today, I'm going to give you guys these 7 principles for creating a vision. Yeah. Babe?
Oh, so sorry. I thought you were about to give your 7. Oh, so you're on to me. I'm supposed to close up now, or I have to imagine what the 7 principles are.
What? No. What processes do you use for visions? Do you have a process? Do you have steps? Do you take? What is your process for maintaining and creating a vision?
So for me, I surround myself with things that inspire me. So to our point that we were talking about yesterday, I put the earmuffs on. I tune out the outside noise. I do not accept anybody telling me what I can and cannot do. I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, I was at the gym and I lifted up a weight to put it behind my shoulders, the barbell, and I heard a pop and I tore my rotator cuff. And I went to the doctors because the pain was excruciating and said, you're going to need surgery. And I said, what's the chance of needing surgery? And they said like 60% chances of surgery or 40% chance that you can heal it yourself, but it's going to take 6 months. I was like, okay, thank you very much for that information. I do not accept surgery and I do not accept that 6-month thing. That's not going to happen. And sure enough, I healed my own rotator cuff in about 4 months, so forth. So what I'm saying is listen to other people. Cool. Thank you for the information, but that does not apply to me. So that's what,
sure.
Maybe that's arrogance. I don't know what that is, but I do not accept anybody else's limitations on my vision for my future. So tune out that noise, tune out everybody else's opinion and so forth, and hold fast on what it is that you do want and try to surround yourself with pictures of what you want, documentaries, books, whatever it is. Be inspired every single day and also have a grateful heart.
Great. I love it. I love it. Carl, what do you got there, buddy?
I have my little light book that I made. So it just has, so it's important that you have some vision. And I just need to go, when I made it, like health, see, this is my body. Hopefully one day I'll have, and then eating healthy. And so
that's what you got. That's what you got to do.
And looking at it, you can create anything you want, but you also have to take action. We can have all this, but if you're not taking action, then all of that, you know, there's a not a joke, but there's this thing where this man prayed every single day to God, God, please let me win the lottery. Let me win the lottery. He passed away. He goes up to the gate and he says, God, I prayed every single day to win the lottery. And God looked at him and said, well, you never bought a lottery ticket. So it's important you have to take action, no matter what.
You got to buy the lottery ticket.
But the analytical part of me says, Carl, I don't accept that I won't look like that. Thank you for that information, but I'm going to visualize that 8-pack.
No, listen, and you got to get it. You got to go get it, man. What an amazing little book right there, Carl. That's motivational, man. I like that. It's inspirational. Let me go over these seven tips. for your thing, man. The first one you got to do is focus on your financial area in life. Look at it, write down your finances. What is your annual income? Write this down and be very specific about it. What does your cash flow look like? How much money do you have in savings? How much money do you have in investments? And what is your total net worth? You don't want to write this down. Be very specific. Write down a specific number. Boom. This is what it looks like. The next, visualize your ideal career, your job, or whatever it is. Do you own your own company? Do you work for somebody else? Are you part of a team? Who do you work with? Who are your co-workers? Name them, identify them. The idea here is to make it as specific and real as possible because you're going to manifest it. 3, I want you to focus on your free time and your recreation time. What are you doing in your recreational time? What are you doing in your free time that you have made for yourself? What are your hobbies? What are you pursuing? What kind of vacations do you take? And what do you do for fun? The next, I need you to, what's your ideal vision of your body? Like Carl just did. Carl just showed a picture of what he wants his body to look like. I need you to have that kind of vision. Visualize what your body looks like. What's your ideal body? How did you get there? Are you flexible? Are you in a state of bliss all day? Do you feel good? Are you able to get up? Like my lower back sucks a lot lately. And it's probably because I wear the wrong shoes on concrete, which we've pointed out.
I got a couple of exercises for you that will do amazing for your lower back.
I need it. But visualize that. Next, I need you to visualize your relationships and your friendships. How do your relationships look? Be very specific about it. Do you have great friends? And who are they? What is the quality of a relationship with your friends? What do these relationships feel like? Are they loving and supporting and empowering? How often do you guys get together? What do you do when you get together? Visualize those things. 6 is the visualizing the personal arena of your life. Do you see yourself going back to school, getting training, attending workshops, seeking therapy, or growing spiritually? Do you meditate or go on spiritual journeys? What do you do in the personal arena of your mind for yourself? And then 7, the last one, I want you to focus on the community that you live in. What kind of house do you have? What kind of cars do you have? What does the neighborhood around you look like? Where specifically do you live? Do you have a view? What kind of house do you have? Is it multi-floored, multi-tiered? What's your garage? What's your cars? What are your neighbors? Visualize all of that and write these things down. Look what Claire's got right now.
I was just about to say, I need to show you an example of manifestation. So this is my little Itopia vision book. And when I was stuck in London during pandemic and trying to figure out a way to get out into Palm Springs, look, pictures of Palm Springs. I was looking at that every single day. This is what I want. We live just outside of Old Las Palmas. I don't know if you can see that picture there. And I manifested that. But also my other goal was,
it's all right there.
I don't know
Everything she just did.
I don't know if you can see this, but I had this for years. I don't know if you can see that or not. Claire Rogers, TEDx, an international keynote speaker, did it.
Done it. That's the power of visualizing.
Have a vision, even if it sounds crazy. I mean, these houses in here are millions of dollars. We will own one day. I have no doubt in my mind.
Max, we're coming for one.
Yeah, we're already in Palm Springs, right? So first step. So just you gotta visualize it. Don't put any limits. Don't let anybody say it's impossible. It's impossible. Thank you again for the information. I appreciate you, but that does not apply to me.
Does not apply to me. Listen, and every one of us are special. Final words of the day. We're going to run around the panel and give off some final words to motivate and inspire. Carl, get them.
Don't focus on the outside noise and create that vision and focus and take action.
Block out the outside noise. Babe, final words of the day.
Have a grateful heart. Even if you're going through a challenging time, my recommendation is every morning, wake up, write 5 things that you're grateful for. Every nighttime, write 5 things that you're grateful for. They have to be different things you're grateful for every single day. That will cultivate a grateful heart. When you've got a grateful heart, then you imagine what you want, you feel what you want, and you'll receive it.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, in the words of the great Napoleon Hill, anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, live in accordance with your faith and make your faith belief in yourself that you can do anything. When you believe in yourself and you live in accordance with that faith, you put yourself in a position to receive that which you ask the world to give you. Anything the mind can conceive and believe, it truly can achieve. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want to thank Carl and Claire, as always, for coming in and helping share some of their wisdom and knowledge. Guys, we're trying to just help and motivate you. If you guys are enjoying the show and enjoying the content, please help us out by sharing the show. Invite your friends to come and hang out and partake of the show with us. Drop comments. Follow us on Facebook. Jump into the Facebook group, the Daily Mind Masters, for more engagement and more stuff. Claire and I are posting shorts. We're posting little snippet videos in and throughout the group, in and on this channel. Don't forget to tune into the Nightcap with Sonny and Claire, where we just go bare bones authentic with you and tell you about the day over the course of this next 66-day journey, 63 days to go. And
Sonny's not counting.
We just come authentic and real. There's no script. It's not this. It's just her and I in bed in our gym jams, ready to go to bed. And we just give it to them raw and real about where we're at with our progress. So make sure you guys tune in for that. All things motivational, inspirational, right here on Itopia Coaching on YouTube. We thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed Wednesday. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, Thursday, right back here on the Daily Mastermind. See ya.